devotion, dedication. Also, you know, she's got maybe she's too humble to say, too modest to say, but she's got a great fighting spirit, no doubt. She's a warrior, goes out there and doesn't give a single game. Actually, she has probably the most bagels of anyone in women's tennis. It speaks about how seriously and professionally she's taking every single point and game on the court. So that's very admirable. I really like that kind of champion spirit and mindset.
No, yeah, I would be lying to you if I said I had no reservations. Obviously, you guys know like who I am and the things I speak about, and I was pretty much on almost every player call that I could make.
Ready to serve. They don't need to cheer. No one's talking to you. She's talking to me, okay? I haven't started. Your team is chanting. I'm too old for these mind games, okay?
It is the scandal shaking the foundations of the WTA Tour, a bitter feud between Coco Gauff and Belinda Bencic, that has just taken a wild, unforeseen turn. What began as a routine on-court spat rapidly spiraled out of control, captivating the entire tennis world. And now, the world's greatest player, Novak Djokovic, has entered the fray to defend the American prodigy. The saga ignited when Bencic labeled Gauff's behavior as unsportsmanlike, only for those accusations to crumble under scrutiny, exposing a very different reality. With Djokovic now backing Gauff, the heat on this rivalry has reached a boiling point. We are tearing into the specifics of this clash and what it signals for the careers of both superstars. Novak Djokovic made his stance crystal clear. Coco Gauff was completely innocent during that match. He argued that Gauff was merely advocating for herself, ensuring the officiating remained honest and accurate. Bencic, however, tried to delegitimize Coco's valid complaints, painting a false picture of the teen as the aggressor. Djokovic slammed that narrative, insisting that Bencic's claims about Gauff manipulating the chair umpire were totally baseless. It appeared Bencic was launching personal attacks to rattle Coco and break her mental rhythm. Here is the lowdown on that fiery exchange. Coco fired back, declaring that no one in the entire arena had been more respectful than she had, noting she treats every opponent's team with dignity. She insisted on mutual respect, pointing out that the disputed ball was, in fact, a clean drop shot winner. Djokovic's read on the situation was dead accurate. Coco was the one being gaslit in this scenario. What happened next was legendary. Coco Gauff rallied to crush Belinda Bencic while the whole world watched, showcasing a masterclass in mental fortitude. Even after Bencic snatched the first set and looked dominant, Coco refused to crack or surrender. As the battle wore on, Gauff tapped into her grit, completely reversing the momentum. With laser focus, she swept the final two sets, leaving Bencic in the rearview mirror. It was a statement victory, serving as a stark reminder never to doubt the power and heart of a determined black woman. But Gauff did not just let her racket do the talking. She grabbed the mic afterward to set the record straight. She emphasized that while she never disrespected her rival, the toxic atmosphere was impossible to ignore. Gauff candidly confessed that Bencic's antics did indeed sting and affected her initially. She saw right through Bencic's strategy, a calculated attempt to get under her skin and derail her game plan. Yet, Coco revealed that in the end, she served Bencic exactly what she needed, a clinic in resilience. She admitted, quote, "I would be lying to you if I said I had no reservations. You guys know who I am and what I stand for. I was practically on every player council call I could attend." Gauff's handling of the controversy on the court was nothing short of professional. She navigated the chaos with a maturity far beyond her years. Coco stressed she would not badmouth Bencic or her camp, maintaining the high ground. However, she noted that respect is a two-way street, and while she holds her squad to high standards, it is obvious that same courtesy is not always returned by Bencic or others on tour. Despite the noise and the hostility, Coco keeps ascending, keeping her class intact and her eyes locked on the trophies. Novak Djokovic pointed out that Coco's intensity was never personal malice. It was pure competitive fire. He hailed her as a warrior, a player who steps onto the baseline refusing to gift her opponent a single inch, forcing them to earn everything. Djokovic brushed off Bencic's complaints, implying that true champions do not cry about their opponent's intensity. He reiterated that Gauff is obsessed with winning, not with petty gamesmanship. He spoke of her devotion and dedication, noting that while she might be too humble to brag, her fighting spirit is undeniable. Without a doubt, she is a warrior who goes out there and does not give away a single game for free. In fact, she likely holds the record for serving up the most bagels winning sets 6-0 of anyone in the women's game. Novak's assessment rings true because Coco never hesitates to demand justice. A prime example occurred during her US Open clash with Laura Siegemund, where it became agonizingly obvious that the umpire was letting the opponent dictate the pace to hurt Coco. Faced with bizarre calls and what looked like blatant bias, the frustration boiled over. Instead of shrinking away, Coco marched up to the chair and demanded fair treatment, challenging the system in real time. The stalling tactics were blatantly designed to shatter her rhythm, but Coco refused to blink. Her fearless call-out of the rigged game caught everyone's attention immediately. From the bleachers to the broadcast booth, a wave of solidarity rose up, cheering her raw courage in exposing the double standards. It was a masterclass in grit, and the roaring ovation proved just how deeply the crowd respected her iron will and determination. But Coco was just getting started. When the umpire was finally forced to flag Siegemund for a time violation, a penalty that came only one time out of 4 delays, Coco drew a line in the sand. Apply the rules equally, or don't apply them at all. She kept the officials' feet to the fire, challenging every shaky call and demanding the rulebook be followed to the letter. She wasn't letting this slide. She put the chair umpire on notice. She wasn't moving an inch until the game was called fair. Her steel backbone screamed one thing to the world. Coco Gauff fights for herself, and she demands a level playing field, no matter the odds. When the dust settled, the post-match drama played out exactly by the script. A rattled Laura Siegemund dissolved into tears at the presser, spinning a tale of victimhood and painting Coco as the villain of the piece. Desperate to claw back some public goodwill, Siegemund tried to flip the narrative, conveniently ignoring that Coco had already laid bare the dirty tactics used by both player and official. But the theatrics didn't wash. Everyone who watched Coco's defiant stand saw right through the charade. "I've never cried in a press conference before. Look, as a pro, you're an entertainer. You owe the crowd a show. You owe it to the kids watching. And honestly, I can go home tonight, look in the mirror, and say I gave it everything." While the media storm raged, Novak Djokovic stepped up, proving once again why he's etched on the Mount Rushmore of tennis history. Cutting through the surface noise and the spin doctoring surrounding the clash, he showed the sharp intuition of a true legend. While the masses bought into the narrative woven by Belinda Bencic, Djokovic kept his eyes on reality. He saw plainly that Coco Gauff wasn't the instigator, but the target of a systemic setup. Djokovic's public backing of Coco roared across the tour, highlighting not just his esteem for her game, but his fierce dedication to the sport's integrity. In an era where headlines are twisted and peer pressure forces neutrality, Djokovic held his ground, rejecting the smear campaign. His endorsement was a massive vindication for Coco, confirming that her courtroom defiance was born of a warrior spirit and a thirst for justice, not malice. With the Titans' support, Coco stands vindicated, while the pressure now crushes down on Belinda Bencic. The global tennis community is locked in, and the real story is finally out in the open. Coco's resilience, both with the racket and the mic, has earned the reverence of fans and locker room peers alike. Ultimately, Djokovic's step-in underscores why you must back the righteous play, proving that truth must win out and reminding us all that in this game, integrity is the only trophy that matters. What's your take on Djokovic backing Gauff in this clash? Did his heavyweight opinion flip the script for you? And where do you stand on Belinda Bencic's tactics and the heat she's taking now? Does Coco's fearless clapping back set the gold standard for other pros, particularly when battling bias and inequality in the arena? Drop your thoughts below. Are you riding with Djokovic, or do you see this drama differently? We want to hear your voice in the Pression Day comments section.